All right. So yeah, I didn't know if Richard, it seemed like you wanted to take one more call if we have time, right?
Yeah.
You wanted to take Tyler?
Yeah, let's jump in with Tyler. Been waiting for a while.
Yeah, I think Tyler waited last show, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe he got on. I can't really remember. So apologies if so. But yeah, Tyler in Nebraska says that needs help building a strong case against Christianity. Okay, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks so much, guys, for taking the call. Richard, I love you. JMike, I love you. Axioms on Shadow Rocks, man.
Oh, thank you. Big love there.
Man, thank you. I did wait last time. I didn't get on, so thanks very much for taking it now.
Sure.
I guess to keep it as brief as possible, and I have a fear that this might be frustrating for you guys. I have a fear of hell that I guess is probably unwarranted. At least that's what you guys will say. And I guess because I have ADHD, or I don't feel like I have it in me to go the Bart Ehrman route and get a degree in any of this stuff. I was just hoping that you guys maybe might have some quick go-tos, for lack of a better word, that I could go and look to and kind of at the very least get some peace about some of the Christian claims, I guess.
For yourself? Is this for yourself, or is it to form an argument against someone else? Because if it's for yourself, I think this is really easy to do.
Yeah, I get that impression too. It's mostly for myself, I'd say. As I said, at the very least, I'd like to get some peace for myself. But I mean, I've got a whole, my mom's entire side of the family are devoted traditionalist Roman Catholic theocrats. God bless them. And so it might be the case that if I figured out that they don't believe what they do on very solid grounds, that maybe there's not much of a hope for helping them out. But just at the very least, I guess, yeah, I just like to get some peace of mind.
Yeah, I think just simply looking at the development of hell from the Christian perspective, the kind of general Christian perspective, obviously without knowing specifically which variant you believe in, and I've got to talk generally. But in the Christian Bible as a whole, there are 4 different words used for hell, and you can actually trace the development of the hell concept. And those words are Sheol, which is a Hebrew word, and originally referred to the permanent abode of the dead. But in the kind of Second Temple period, that definition actually began to change. So Sheol started to become then the place where wrongdoers went until the day of judgment. And that was one word for hell used. Another word for hell used in the Bible is Hades. And Hades was both an actual god, but it was benevolent rather than like an evil god. And it was also the name of the underworld in Greek mythology. And as a realm, it's kind of considered to have different parts to it, but it's generally considered to kind of misstay, and all people, good and bad, go there when they die. And again, this was later kind of amalgamated and mixed into with the previously mentioned Sheol. So in many cases, those 2 names became interchangeable, and you can trace that timeline. Another word for hell in the Bible is Tartarus. And again, that was both a realm and a god from Greek mythology. It was a prison for the Titans, and it was where wrongdoers were sent to receive divine punishment. And the final word for hell in the Bible is Gehenna. And that was an actual physical valley. It was a real place in Jerusalem where some of the Judean kings were said to have sacrificed the children by fire. And obviously that's where the hell kind of bit comes in, the fire bit. And so it was thought to be cursed. And as a result of this, it's kind of thought that this is why it later became associated as a destination for the dead, as a purgatory in kind of Catholicism, and as a general holding place for all the departed. So all these different words got amalgamated, and we can kind of trace the timeline of them. And that is kind of where the idea of hell comes from. There are plenty of good books on this subject if you kind of want to search them out and things. But that's kind of a general overview. But it's just a case for yourself of going, kind of looking at that work that's already been done for you and just tracing that timeline, because you can specifically pick out like periods like the Second Temple period, where things began to change, where the ideas of these places began to change and take on new meaning and become amalgamated with the other words to have eventually the place that's behind me right now, the kind of modern kind of vision of what we think hell is. And obviously there were later writers like Dante and things which informed things like that. But I mean, I'm going back to the kind of original words that are used in the Bible here.
Yeah, there's some good sources. There's a really good one if you just like kind of walk around the house. I think it's on archive.org, but it's one of Ehrman's courses on the historical Jesus, and it goes through one of the sections goes through the intertestamental period and how Jewish concepts just began to change. One of the things that really stuck out there for me is looking at like the Persian influences on the types of like angel demon warfare. You get the Hellenization and what Richard's already kind of touched on. That if you look in that, I mean, I didn't have a fear of hell, so this is a question that I always feel like I can't answer for somebody. I always feel like, well, I never had this kind of fear, so I feel disingenuous. The only perspective I can give is that when I looked through all of this, it was clear cut for me. Like I saw how the development of hell came, how the development of different concepts in the intertestamental period played out. And that it shifted my view on Jesus. For the New Testament, it's just a completely different shift from prior to having exposed myself to that. So I don't know if that will help you because, like I said, I don't have the attachment of the fear of hell part. So maybe it was, just intuitively easier for me to go, oh, okay, I see this Sunday school version, versus like the scholar version. But if that makes sense. So there might be a bigger block for you there because of how dedicated you were and, things like that.
That, of course, what you guys both said is very helpful. Thanks very much for that. I guess more or less, that's why I said I hope this wouldn't be too frustrating for you guys, because I am an agnostic atheist, but sure. I guess it just may be the case that I need to get off my duff and look into the stuff. But this history just bores me to no end, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be boring, man, but like Dr. James Tabor is a really good source, scholar, I believe Old Testament scholar. Paula Fredrickson, Bart Ehrman, Mark Goodacre. There's some really good ones out there. Buddy of mine, Derek, has a lot of those on his channel, Myth Vision, and so they have a lot of scholars and stuff. That if that helps, kind of take the boredom out, because I get that. It would be helpful. It's just it's so hard for me to like touch on this because I didn't have this fear, and I feel like I'm just being dishonest in a way where I'm like, oh, I can help you. It's like, I know I can't. It's like, I know that I can say words and then you're going to have to do stuff, beyond that.
I knew more. I knew more or less what I was coming into with this. I just thought if you guys could who better to ask than you guys to give me the shortcuts to some of this stuff, Well,
I appreciate it. I mean, if you want to, email us or anything like that, I'd like, I got to do better at being on that and responding, but I'd like for, anybody that wants a kind of correspondence back and forth. I want to dedicate the time out of my day to do that. And so I'd love to kind of go back and forth, on that and see where you progress, or because it helps me kind of understand that perspective. And then it's nice to have a follow-up and know that like someone, hey, I was a theist, I'm no longer a theist anymore, or I'm a theist, I have this argument, I'm going to pummel you with it, or however, it will end up going. But it'd be good, and not just to have one. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I will definitely take you up on that. Thank you so much, guys.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Tyler.
Of course. Thanks. Take care, guys.